How does you're backed by arguably one of the greatest of all time, right?
What are we rating ourselves on? What are we rating on?
Okay,
Well, we want to know in the least amount of fights. You know, I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights,
Yes, you did.
who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were
So it's basically saying that.
the greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
When Terence Crawford dropped the line, I'd stop Floyd easier than I stopped Spence. The entire boxing world went into meltdown. Social media exploded. Fans couldn't believe it, and analysts replayed that moment over and over again. But the one person who took it the hardest? Floyd Money Mayweather himself. For a man who's built his entire legacy around being untouchable, the undefeated, the unchallenged, the ultimate technician, hearing another champion casually claim they'd stop him wasn't just a jab. It was a direct hit to his pride. And that one sentence didn't just spark headlines. It reignited one of the biggest, what debates in modern boxing history.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
Within just a few hours, Floyd Mayweather's reaction hit social media. Smooth, calculated, and colder than ice. On the surface, it looked like classic Floyd, calm, composed, and unbothered. But behind that poker face, insiders say he was fuming. Because this wasn't just another fighter comparing themselves to him. This was different. For the first time in years, someone had the audacity to say they wouldn't just beat Floyd, they'd stop him. And for a man whose entire brand is built around perfection, that hit deep. See, this wasn't just about ego. It was about pride, legacy, and the uncomfortable truth that the sport he once ruled might now belong to someone else. The moment that lit the fuse happened during a popular boxing podcast just 2 nights earlier. Terence Crawford, still riding high after his historic win over Canelo Alvarez.
Yo, yeah, so if he was pound for pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh, shit, okay, I'm just asking.
man.
Because Floyd was pound for pound before.
That would have been a hard fucking fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody. I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
What really sent shockwaves through the boxing world wasn't just Crawford's confidence. It was the fact that his words actually sounded believable. When most fighters talk about beating Floyd Mayweather, it feels like fantasy. But when Terence Crawford said it, people stopped laughing. Because if you watch his career, if you've seen how methodically he dismantled Errol Spence, a fighter many thought unbeatable, and how he completely neutralized Canelo Alvarez, you know this isn't empty talk. Crawford doesn't speak for attention. He speaks from results.
You could take a guy like Canelo. This guy could do. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Here's the thing. Ever since retiring, Floyd Mayweather has made it his mission to keep the spotlight on himself. Every exhibition fight, every interview, every flashy headline, it's all been part of his strategy to stay relevant, to remind the world that Money Mayweather still runs the show. But in 2025, that grip is finally starting to slip. The attention isn't as by default anymore.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Crawford isn't out here chasing paydays. He's chasing greatness. Every move he makes feels like it's about cementing his place in boxing history, not padding his bank account. And that's exactly what eats at Floyd the most. For years, Mayweather was a master of the money game, the face of luxury, success, and control. But Crawford, he's rewriting the rules. He's proving that legacy still matters more than lifestyle.
And I'm gonna get a lot of too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over Mayweather. Because of going up, you didn't see Mayweather go up from 147 to 168. That's crazy, bro. And honestly, I thought Crawford was gonna have more of a hard time because he had a hard time with Madronov. So imagine going up to it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, but I don't want to take nothing away from Mayweather. Mayweather's the greatest of all time. But I think that was a really big risk that Crawford took, and then he ended up winning. You know what I mean? So you have to give credit to that too. I mean, that's a big risk. That'd be like me going up and fighting Usyk right now, heavyweight.
I know that's been kind of hinted.
I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm not thinking of that right now. No, but that's kind of like how that'd be. You know what I mean? So you have to, bro. That's a lot of. He has a lot of balls to do that. And not only to go do that to show the world that he's really like that.
For years, critics have said the same thing about Floyd Mayweather, that his career wasn't just built on skill, but on timing. They claimed he mastered the art of fighting opponents when the odds were most in his favor. He picked his battles carefully, waited for the right moments, and made sure every move maximized profit while minimizing danger. And to be fair, they weren't wrong. Floyd wasn't just a boxer. He was a genius businessman. He turned the fight game into a money machine and built an empire that still stands today. But that genius always came with a quiet asterisk. He played it safe.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, masterful fight on Terence Crawford's part.
But here's where things get really interesting. According to inside sources close to Mayweather Promotions, Floyd isn't just upset about what Crawford said, he's upset about who said it. This isn't some up-and-coming fighter trying to make a name off of him. This is Terence Bud Crawford, a man who climbed to the top of the sport without ever needing Floyd's help.
I beat this guy. It's an excuse. I beat this guy. You know, he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really going to give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, you know, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative. Like, man, y'all watching something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude was good.
And that independence, that ability to rise without needing anyone, is exactly why Floyd feels so threatened. One promoter close to the situation even put it perfectly. Floyd sees himself in Bud, just without the control. And that's the real issue here. Crawford is doing everything Floyd once did, dominating the sport, mastering the mental game, and building a legacy that commands respect. But he's doing it without the politics, the manipulation, or the media spin.
At the end of the day, I'll let you know. There's no fighter that will ever be better than me. There's no fighter that wasn't better than me before me or after me or when I'm long gone. I'm the best.
But Crawford's not out here trying to be the next Floyd Mayweather. He's rewriting the entire playbook. Instead of following Floyd's path, he's creating his own version of greatness. One that doesn't rely on showmanship or self-promotion, but on pure dominance inside the ring.
Where does he rank now, all time? Ending this interview.
Number one, and the only one that he got at top is Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford is this generation guy. You know what I'm saying? Accomplishing all the goals that he accomplished.
Matched up? How do they match up, Floyd and Terence?
Hey, I'm like this, man. It's going to be great because Floyd, he's about his work. He put in work. We've been watching it for decades. You know what I'm saying? Him coming out of retirement to do this fight, that's a win for the whole world of boxing. Every generation from Floyd's generation to this generation didn't get to see it come. That's just like we never get to see Michael Jordan play, right? But we remember when he used to play. Come on.
But Crawford's not out here trying to be the next Floyd Mayweather. He's rewriting the entire playbook. Instead of following Floyd's path, he's creating his own version of greatness. One that doesn't rely on showmanship or self-promotion, but on pure dominance inside the ring. He's proving that you don't have to imitate the past to surpass it. Crawford isn't chasing Floyd's shadow. He's building a legacy so strong that future fighters will be chasing his.
In the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
That one statement echoed across social media. It wasn't just an opinion. It was a bold declaration that the new era might have already surpassed the old one. Because when you watch Crawford fight, you're not just seeing skill. You're seeing evolution. It's the same precision in defense that Floyd was famous for, but with more aggression, more power, and a killer instinct that refuses to coast.
I didn't expect that the fight will be like that, but I thought it will finish 12 rounds. But Crawford he did a good job.
Is Crawford pound for pound number one? Pound for pound number one?
I think so. Pretty much, I don't think.
Do you feel like they need a rematch, Manny, after what you saw tonight?
I don't know if there's a rematch.
That's what we gotta go.
It's kind of a one-sided fight.
Does this fight make Terence Crawford an all-time great in your eyes?
Well, he's still in his career, so he's prime in his career. So we'll see the journey of his life.
When Crawford stepped into the ring with Errol Spence, fans were bracing for an all-out war. Two elite fighters going toe-to-toe in a battle of equals. But what they got instead was something entirely different. A masterclass in control violence. Crawford didn't just beat Spence. He broke him down systematically.
Because when you mention great fighters, right? 90% of your great fighters are black. The ones from the past. Now, with the Eastern Bloc coming on like they are, there's going to be some great ones coming on now. Even with Lil Tony, as you see it, these guys are going to be great. They're going to start eclipsing and coming up there too. But right now, if you had to name 5 of the best fighters of all time, 4 of them are going to be black. You understand me? Who did he beat that was black in his prime, that was in their prime, that was on his level? Nobody.
Floyd Mayweather was a master technician, no doubt about it. But when it came to facing the very best at their absolute peak, many fans felt he never truly delivered. Sure, he outclassed Canelo Alvarez, but let's be honest, that was a young, still developing Canelo, barely entering his prime. Fast forward to today and Terence, but Crawford isn't beating the young version of greats. He's taking down prime champions 2 weight divisions above his natural class.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Dog, yes.
That makes a difference to people.
Crawford did amazing, he a legend, man. 3-time undisputed. You got to take his hat up to him. He went up 2 weight classes and dominated a legend. So my hat goes up to him, and he's all respect.
Do you think Canelo is the same guy that he was before? You think he's completely falling off?
Canelo's Canelo, you know what I mean? Canelo's a legend, bro. You gotta, at the end of the day, whatever happened that fight, that don't diminish his career, his image. You feel me? I think right now, he's at that time where he took an L, but he ain't take an L, you know what I'm saying? He got paid and he a legend at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So if he want to walk over in the sunset right now, his name, his last name is in the cement, you know what I'm saying? As one of the greatest Mexican fighters in the world.
I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but Crawford does have all the titles. You're a really big name. He's kind of in your way right now a little bit. Is that a fight where you're just like, yeah, me and him can get it on for sure?
Not for sure. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? We don't duck no smoke. Right now, I'm focused on my comeback fight, you know what I'm saying? I gotta put my head down, whatever happened in my last fight is cool, but that ain't dim my light at all, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a superstar, I'm still a star, I'm still the king of New York, man, I'm fly, I look good, I fight good, man, so, I'm excited.
Crawford, though, is built differently. He doesn't just want to control the fight. He wants to own it. He's driven by something deeper than money or image. For him, it's about legacy, about leaving no doubt in anyone's mind that they just witnessed greatness. Floyd fought to protect his record.
And I beat him, but we both been out there, they say he's over the hill. But then when Pacquiao fights him, they say, oh, this is the greatest thing we ever seen. So then when I fight Hatton, they say I'm too big for Hatton, but then they say,
No, nobody said that. You got full credit for both of those wins, Floyd. That's why you became a superstar.
No, I did not.
Yes,
no,
you
I
did.
did not. No,
sure
I did
you
not.
did. From
are
me,
you
I
gonna
gave you full credit. If you're talking to me now, I gave you full credit for that.
Am I gonna speak my piece or not?
Go
Am
ahead.
I gonna speak my piece or not?
Go ahead.
Okay, because you want to interview me. I ain't interviewing you. You want to talk to me. I don't worry about talking.
Floyd,
you want to talk
go
to
ahead.
me.
I'm waiting on you.
So then when I fight Hatton, they said, oh, Mayweather is too big for Hatton. But then Marquez and Pacquiao can fight, it's no problem. But now, but I'm too big for Marquez. I'm too big for Marquez, but I'm not too big for Pacquiao. Which one is it?
Well,
which one is it?
Which one is it?
Which one is it?
It's that Pacquiao was 130 pounds, and he keeps moving out and whacking guys who are much bigger. He gets full credit for.
Meanwhile, Floyd's response has been pure defense. Classic Mayweather style. He keeps reminding everyone of his 50-0 record, his record-breaking pay-per-view numbers, and his billion-dollar empire. It's his way of saying, you can't touch what I built. But the truth is, Crawford doesn't care about the numbers. He's not trying to out-earn Floyd. He's trying to outlast him in legacy.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in the fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I
Floyd
love you, Terrence.
always figures it out.
Yeah, he's a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ in that
The
sense
funny
is
thing
crazy.
about it is Terrence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Anybody else? Yeah.
There's an OG
Somebody
somewhere.
got a pioneer, right? Yeah, you got it.
There's an OG you can't out-figure out somewhere. And I just believe Floyd is that OG you can't out-figure out.
That's the difference between an icon and a legend, and Floyd knows it. An icon protects what he's built, while a legend keeps building no matter what stands in his way. That's why Floyd's suddenly back in interviews again, taking subtle shots at the new generation, reminding everyone about his billions, his business empire, and his perfect record. But the truth is, when the conversations shift from wealth to greatness, Floyd doesn't like where it's heading. Because no matter how hard you try, you can't fight Father Time, and you can't fight the future.
As his trainer, do you feel like you should just sail off into the sunset after this monumental
Well,
win?
you know what? They made it look so easy. You know what I'm saying? Got 2-3 more in him. You know what I'm saying? Training camp will try harder. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think a move to 160 would make sense?
I mean, if you want to do it, you know, it'd be a challenge. If you want to challenge yourself, yeah, I don't mind.
Now, the entire boxing world is watching every move Crawford makes. He's already hinted that he's only got a few fights left before hanging up the gloves, which makes each one feel bigger than the last. Names like Jaron Boots, Ennis are being thrown around. A young, hungry lion who many believe could be the future of the sport. Then there's talk of a rematch with Canelo Alvarez, a chance for Crawford to silence any remaining doubters and put a definitive stamp on their rivalry.
Saw you before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. You got to give it to his coaches, not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. You know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course. Of course he is.
Floyd Mayweather protected his legacy with precision, controlling every variable to ensure perfection. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, built his legacy through chaos, by walking straight into danger and coming out untouched. One man fought to retire rich. The other fights to retire remembered. And that's the defining difference between building a fortune and building forever.